So, I have a question today as the band goes, and thank you guys. Great playing. Would you hand me that water, that cup there? Right there. See it? Yeah. So I have a question for you, and it also happens to be the title. Thank you. The title of the talk today. Somebody said to me last week, you have something right there to put that on. Why do you keep bending over? Got it. So, I can learn. So, that was my husband, by the way, who I say hi to in San Diego. So the question and the title of my talk today is, what are you willing to do? Now, it sounds like a simple question. What are you willing to do? Most of us are going to say after that, well, what do you mean? What am I willing to do about what? Bless you. But really, it's what are you willing to do? What are you willing to be the active energy of life as? What are you willing to do with this life you have? And now I want to go to the word willing. I love what Karen says in the song, I am willing to go deeper. I am willing to open up my heart. I am willing to be fearless. I am willing to change. And when I say those things, something touches me when I say I am willing. Only when I say I am willing from a place of abandon, from a place of non-condition. Because I think often we say, I am willing, sure, I'm willing, but blah, 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 blah. I'm willing, but this has to happen first. Sure, I'm willing to be wealthy, but first I have to get that great job. I am willing to be in a great relationship, but first they have to meet this long list of criteria. Anybody? Yeah. I am willing, but are you? Am I? Willingness is a consciousness. It is a choice. When I really say I am willing, I feel it. I really feel what that means. I am willing to go deeper. When I said this month that this month was going deeper, I had no idea how many opportunities I would get to go deeper. I had no idea how much further I could drop. And I don't mean that in a negative way. How much further I could get in touch with something in me that is just so expansive. And it's so emotional. It just brings so much emotion out. So yesterday, I get to teach. I've had this concept for this class, RIPE, Real Intimacy Pleasures Everyone. I've had this concept for almost a year now. And yesterday was the day I finally got to do my very first version of it. And part of it was about intimacy. The whole first half of the day was intimacy. And just so you know, intimacy really just means closeness. That's all it means. Intimacy, we've turned intimacy into this amazingly, this very deep, convoluted craziness about intimacy. How many people are afraid of intimacy? They're like, oh yeah, I have a fear of intimacy. As though that's a real thing. It's not. It's a made-up thing. It's an imagined thing. It's another way of keeping ourselves away from what we want. Oh, I'm afraid of this, I have fear of this, I have fear of this. That's why last month was all about fearlessness. So intimacy is closeness. And I talked yesterday about there are 3 things we must be close to. First, ourselves. Self-intimacy. Being close to me. Close to what I think, what I believe, what I know. That kind of intimacy. Then others. Am I willing to be intimate with others? Am I willing to be close to others? No matter who they are. Be willing to open up to the universe of energy that's around me. And then the third one, am I willing to be intimate with that which is bigger than all of us? Am I willing to be close to? And a closeness, the deepest form of closeness is a closeness that turns into oneness. Am I willing to be one with that thing in me that is bigger than all of this mishigash? Do you like that word? Am I willing to be that? And again, am I willing means, am I really going to stay open to that? So as I was going through this workshop yesterday, I was the facilitator. So I didn't really have to answer all the questions. I just had to provide them. I like that position. It's a good position. But yesterday, I didn't do that. I answered all the questions to myself. And as they were all sitting there answering the questions to each other, I was sitting by myself answering them. And there was that one moment when I went there about, am I willing to change? To change. And I got so emotional. I was like, oh my God, I am willing to change. But I don't think there's anything to change. Really. Now, and then I was like checking in going, is this just arrogance? Is this like spiritual arrogance? I am willing to change, but what's there to change? I mean, really, that's not where I went. Although you might think I did. I didn't. No, I went to this place. There really is never anything to change. And when Karen gets to the end of the song, I am willing to change, I realize that our biggest issue isn't that we need to change things. Things need to change. That's not the issue. Our biggest issue is that we have to be willing to go back to that which is changeless and get rid of all the stuff that keeps making us say, I need to change this. I need to fix this. I need to drop this. I need to do something different here. All those things are the things that really keep us from that place of oneness. So my one question to you today, my next question to you is this. Are you willing to see the world from that place of oneness? Not from your individual self. Now, the individual self is great. And I love when Rumi says, you are not a drop of the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And I love that saying, and it always swells me. But do I live it? Do I see the world from the entire ocean's vantage point? Or do I consistently see the world from my drop, which is the whole ocean, but I don't always tap into the wholeness of it. I tap into the individuality, and therefore now I've got all the stuff involved with it. So that's the question today as we're going deeper and deeper. Am I willing to navigate the world from the vantage point of the whole enchilada, as opposed to just my myopic sense of what the world is? So I have 3 things that I have to be willing to change. So if I go to that concept of, okay, I am willing to change back to what I was, change back to who I am, to who I really am. And the first thing I have to be willing to change, I have to be willing to change what I know. I have to be willing to change what I know. And I'm going to actually add here, I have to be willing to change what I think I know. Because I think, all of us, if we really thought about it, I think what we think we know is what gets us in trouble. And that beautiful saying, I know nothing. Now what can I know? From a deeper place. So I have to be willing to change what I know. So I want you to ask yourself that this morning. Are you willing, which means on a deeper level, are you willing to change what you know about all of this that has come to this point in life? When we talked yesterday about sexuality and sensuality, the first half of the day was about intimacy. It was like the icebreaker. And the second half of the day was about love and romance and sensuality and sexuality. It is amazing how much stuff we still have around sex, how much stuff we still have around sensuality, how crazy our ideas are about romance, this fantasy idea of romance, but what romance really is. It's amazing when you look at all of that. So, am I willing to stop knowing all of that? Am I capable of stopping myself from knowing all of that? That's really the work. And that's the opportunity we have today to just say to ourselves, okay, am I willing to not know what I think I know? So ask yourself that. Am I willing to not know what I think I know? Because then it goes to the next part. There are 3 of these. Am I willing to not know? Am I willing to react differently? Am I willing to react differently? How many of you find yourselves sometimes just reacting because that's the way you react? Right? So, I react this way when this happens. If you do this to me, I will react this way. If someone says this, I react this way. When someone does this, I react this way. When I happen to have this happen to me, I react this way. Why do I react this way? As an infinite being of pure potentiality and pure infinite possibility, why would I stick to one reaction when that happens. It's amazing. So I have to be willing. Am I willing to change the way I react? Well, if I've already been willing to change what I know, to just forget what I know, then probably I'm going to be willing to change the way I react. Because I'm not going to react this way because I don't know what I thought I knew. I don't know you as that. I'm just now hearing this for the first time. Okay, so what do I need to know about that? So there's one, there's second. That's number 2. Number 3, for me, is the thing that really gets me. Am I willing to change what I allow in my life? So I just want you to think about that for a moment. What do you allow in your life? Who do you allow in your life? How do you allow things affect you in your life? What do you allow in? What do you allow your life to be? Do you allow yourself to live a life at a level that is really, really below where you are in consciousness? What do you allow? It's amazing when I ask myself that question sometimes. Am I allowed to do this? I'm a renegade. If someone tells me that I'm not allowed to do something, that's when I do it. Anybody else? Like if someone says to you, you're not allowed to do that, oh my God, you can't wait to do it. You know, I was hearing the teens talk about sex, and I walked in and I thought they were talking about something else. And I said, oh, what are you talking about? And they told me, and I was like, okay, good. And I was uncomfortable. I was like, wow, they're teens. Why are they talking so freely and openly about sex and what a good thing it is and all this stuff? I was like, God, when I was younger, I was told the more you did it, it was horrible. It would fall off. Really. And what do we allow into the mystery of it? When you make it something so scary, oh, I'm not allowed to do that, then suddenly, guess what? You're no longer a choice. The choice is taken from you because the mystery has come in and taken over. The scariness even comes in and takes over. You're reacting to that. What if all that went away and you just had choices? It's just about choice. So what you allow in your life, what you allow yourself to do, who you allow yourself to be. Are you living a life of someone that you have allowed yourself to be? Or are you living a life based on what has come thus far and what you've been told you're allowed to be? I know for me, growing up, I was told that I was way too loud. That it's hard to believe, but way too energetic. I remember my mother and father, my whole childhood were like, just calm down. Find a way to relax yourself. And I'd be like, why? Everything's so exciting. And somewhere along the line, I kind of bought into that, and I did get a little calmer until I went to college. And then I got a little more rambunctious again. But even then, people around me, my own age group would go, calm down. You're just a little too wacko. You're a little too out there. But you know what? That serves me now. Because I understand that it's just the mind saying, you're not this. In that high-pitched voice it always speaks to me in. You are so much more than this. And I don't know about you, and I'm sure you all feel this way. How many of you, and I really do want to raise of hands, how many of you actually feel in your body that there is just so much more you can be? Right? Thank you for 2 hands. Right? We do. So guess what we have to do? We have to be willing to allow ourselves to be that. Allow is the big one for me. Yes, I need to stop knowing what I think I know. What you know has stopped you from doing so many things, it's amazing. And yes, I have to be absolutely willing to react differently in situations so that I don't attract the atmosphere, the energy. And then I have to allow it. So what are you going to allow? What are you going to allow into your life? You're going to allow more love into your life, maybe? Are you going to allow a perfect partner, someone to share your life with? Allow yourself. Are you going to allow more money? How many would like to allow more money into their life? Now, you may think that's funny. Oh, yeah, just allow it. That'll do it. Yes, it will. Because consciousness is the only thing that attracts. Nothing else attracts but consciousness. And a mind that says, I allow it all, is a mind that attracts the all. What we teach here, what Science of Mind has the gift of teaching, is this amazing way of using the mind, not just to get things, not to get more things, not to even get more money, but to be more. The reason why there is more finance in the world for you is because you've suddenly got it. You are that. You are that. The reason why there's more love in the world for you is because you've finally gotten it. You are that. The reason why there is better health in the world for you is because you finally got it. You are health, divine health. And the reason why more ideas come to you and why you become more creative in life is because you finally got it. You are the creativity of life. Everything is energy. Only energy. That's all it is. Love is energy, creativity is energy, intimacy is energy, passion is energy, money is energy, health is energy. It's all energy. That's all it is. We are swimming in a sea of, we are that divine energy. How we use it, how we direct it, how we allow it is the way we get to experience life. It's as simple as that. So when I ask myself the question, what am I willing to do? The title was, what are you willing to do? But let's all say to ourselves, what am I willing to do? Well, the answer has to be, as Ellen said, and how perfect. You got up there and spoke, and I was like, I'm going to be saying the exact same thing. What am I willing to do? I am willing to be intimate as the divine. I am willing to be close, so close to my highest self that I am that highest self at all times. And I take it out into the world. I deal with money that way. I deal with love that way. I deal with my health that way. You know, when I got home last night, I felt like I was getting this bronchial thing. And I just said to myself, no, it's not going to happen. I'm fine. I am health. And whatever reason I felt it was necessary to create this in my life, I now got that message, even though I have no idea what it was. I, on some level, understand it. I have benefited from it. Thank you, and bye-bye. And when I woke up this morning, I sat up and I went, oh, I feel great. Absolutely great. That's the power we have in our hands. Now, just look at the other way. What if I just said, oi? Yep, it's that time of year. Everybody's getting this. It's that bronchial thing. Oh, I can feel it. And then I start focusing on it. It's just energy, right? Just energy. So now I'm expanding it. I'm saying, you go ahead and build whatever you want in there. You know, lay me out flat. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just move it over to money, move it over to love, move it over to success. That's how we have to learn to use our minds. So what am I willing to do? What am I willing to do? I am willing, as Karen's song says, to go deeper into this teaching, into this understanding. I am willing to go deeper into the religions of the world and find out what they all have to offer and bring it back. I am willing to do that. I am willing to open my heart. And even as I say it, I get emotional. I am willing to just take down the barriers, the walls, whatever it is that keeps me from being intimate with everyone. I am willing. And I am willing to change back to my default setting because there is nothing to change. Because the only thing we ever have to really change is our perspective, our conscious perspective that something's off. You know, one of the things we talked about yesterday was looking in the mirror, talking about the body, because one of the questions was, do you like your body? Now, a lot of people say no to that. And here's my take on that. I mean, I obviously say yes to that, but I don't say yes to it lock, stock, and barrel. There are parts of my body, like my kneecaps, that annoy me. You'll never see me in shorts. No, you might see me in shorts. They're just a little, I danced on them for many years. So I have to be willing to look at my body and love it, sensually love it, being willing to touch it from a place of love, from a place of acceptance, and understand that my body is something that it reflects my mind, because that's what it is, consciousness. So if I'm willing to look at my body, love it exactly the way it is, every little bulge and not many left, but every little bulge, everything that I don't like when I had my scar that was bugging me, whatever I don't like, I have to be willing to look at it and go, no, that's you. It's okay. You love it. And say, and you know what? I'm going to let you go. It's okay if that bulge on the right side goes away. So I'm okay to change that. But I love you just the way you are, but we're going to change it because I want to try something new. Maybe I'd like to try a fit body. Maybe I'd like to try a body that's healthy. Maybe I'd like to be a size 3 instead of a size 10, right? Why did I go to girls' sizes as though I wear dresses? My size 3 dresses fit much better now. But you know what I'm saying? I have to allow me to be me. And if I am willing to allow myself to be who I am, then I'm also willing to allow myself to change. Because this is a world that allows me to do whatever I want, with whatever I want. So the question of the day is, what are you willing to do? Willing means you're going to get rid of all the conditions. What are you willing to do? Do means, what are you willing to get like that with? Are you willing to see the world from that perspective of oneness? You're not just the drop. You are the entire ocean. Karen, folks? So just sit with that for a moment. I want to close with this song. I am willing to change back to who I am, who I've always been. I am willing. Robbie, come on out. Bam, unless you're all singing a cappella.
You do it.
I know you could. Yes.
But we love these guys.
All right. I am willing to change. I am willing to change what I know. Let's just say, I'll say that. I am willing to change what I know. I am willing to change the way I react.
I am willing to change the way I react.
And I am willing to allow. And then you get to add whatever you want to that. So the whole point of this talk today was the idea that there is an intimacy as the divine that changes lives. So let's allow that to be exactly what it is.
So we're going to do this beautiful song. And you guys know the words, I'm sure already, but if you want to just go deeper and sing along with these beautiful words, so sacred, so blessed, so precious, this love. Say that to yourself. Say that to the beautiful beings around you. So sacred, so blessed, so precious, this love. Sing it again. So sacred, so blessed, so precious, this love. Sing it one more time. So sacred, so blessed, so precious, so precious, this love, so sacred, so blessed, so precious, so precious, this love. I will share, I will share, I will share.
So here's what I know. I know that there is an infinite amount of divine energy present at all times. It's who I am, it's what I am, it's how I live, it's how I think, it's how I know, it's how I feel. And this energy, this creativity, this spark of passion within me is capable of being focused, pointed, known, understood. And so what I know is that I am willing and open and ready to change back to that which has always been the perfection of life, expressing itself perfectly through and as each and every one of us. And I am so grateful for this, so grateful to know this, to live this, to bathe in this, to be drenched in this. And I just relax into it, knowing that it is so, as together we all say, and so it is.
So sacred, so blessed, so precious, this love. So sacred, so blessed, so blessed, so precious, so precious, this love. I will share. So